and I think there's going to be some kind of a delay here, but yeah. So welcome everybody. This is the third episode of FCC Live. Joining us is Slick and Jesteriah. So what's up, guys? This is again the third one. The first two we had Get Stacks and Fernando on. So they're taking a little bit of a break on this one, and we're gonna get some fresh new perspective for this live. For everybody watching out there, we'll be talking a little bit about Temporal Forces. It's Temporal Forces release week, technically. First full week, so a lot of like price movements and, price movements of the singles, the sealed product, things like that. So we'll dabble into that a little bit and kind of get some thoughts from all three of us. And then along with that, we'll probably talk a little bit about like, Japanese 151. I know there's been some talk about reprint in May, as well as, Mercari today, kind of talking about just real-time events, coming out with the, sellers fees essentially being removed. So, initial thoughts for us, I think we're like, heck yeah, this is awesome. But then once we dug into it a little bit further, kind of realized that those fees were being offloaded onto the buyers. So we could talk about that a little bit. And then ultimately, getting into like some of our content creation. And I know we wanted to talk about that a little bit, talk about just our journey on the content creation side, like what we have going forward and just kind of like some experience in general. I think all three of us are very different in what we've done in terms of content creation. So it'll be good to kind of just talk through different perspectives and see, what we're all doing and what we struggled with and what kind of has been working for us. So, but I'll kind of just jump right into it. I'm Walt, the face behind FCC Power City Cards. Just for because I think we got a couple different groups here now for Jesteriah and Slick. So I got into this in what was it? It was 2019 Thanksgiving. I went home. I found some cards. Basically just jumped right into it. I found a stack of cards, fell in love with them again, and fell in love with just like being able to kind of make a little bit of money on the side, but also get to enjoy them at the same time. So it's been a progression, and I won't get into all the details, but I just wanted to kind of give my a brief introduction of myself before I hand it off to these guys. So Slick or Jesteriah, you guys want to just give a brief introduction, kind of your background and why you're here, what you're doing?
It's me. Well, thank you, Walt, for the intro. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, man. But I guess I'll start at how I met Walt. But met Walt recently on Instagram ads. He had some awesome wholesale deals going on, and he's brought us into this freaking tight knit community. I think we're all like brothers that wake up in the morning and give each other noogies and show each other our cards, that we got. So it's pretty cool what we got going on here. I actually just recently started up my own thing and getting into wholesale, and Walt's definitely helped me get there. Small following on Whatnot, etc. I've been into, I also found some cards, I think in 2019, 2018, not to Walt's extent, but that set me off, as well as, the re-release of 151. That really just set me and all my friends off big time. But been into, the whole Pokemon and Marvel and Comic-Cons for a while, but really into TCG now. Love it. Love the community. Love it down to bagging the items and selling them and sticking them labels onto the packages. So it's been good throughout. Definitely love the group of guys here, and looking forward to us just continuing to build this what we made here. So thanks for having me, Walt.
Sweet. Yeah.
All right. Guess I'm up. First and foremost, Avocado needs the smackdown. Definitely, he's the one that gets the noogies. What's up, guys? Good to see everybody. Thank you guys for coming from the community. So, for a bit about me, I was in the Army for 11 years. I got out in 2020. Went back home just in time for the quarantine. And it wasn't long after that started watching. It was weird. It was a Poker Rev video that was recommended to me out of nowhere. And then a Deep Pocket Monsters video was recommended to me. And then I was like, how did I forget about this amazing, it was always something that I loved as a kid. My childhood was pretty rough. But luckily, I found Pokemon cards, and it was just a really bright, source in an otherwise dark place. So I fell in love with Pokemon as a kid, and then as I was like watching more of these streams, Royalty Gaming was like a huge influence on me. Um, and I was already streaming on Twitch, and I was like doing gaming and stuff, but I didn't really get serious about it until after the army. And then we were locked down; we didn't really have anything to do. Um, and it took some convincing with my better half, Kay. I see you in there. But I was like, why do we do this? Like, why, like, I want to bring this joy that I had as a kid. I want to bring that to other people. I feel like, like we should be doing this. So yeah, that's what we started doing. And we just started last year as far as the Pokemon stuff goes. Huge shout out Flower City, because without them, we would be making even less money than what we are right now. The hardest part about this, I found, is finding a distributor that would be willing to work with someone without a brick and mortar shop. Flower City, you're a huge help in that regard, helping bridge that gap. So I really appreciate you. And we've just been able to keep continually rolling the savings over back into the community, giving them more stuff that they've been asking for. So huge shout out to the community. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know. I feel like we definitely all have an appreciation of the hobby just in general. I feel like that's definitely the glue that keeps us all in the Discord and just active in general. So that's been pretty cool to see. And just I feel like I was telling Slick before you jumped on, Jesteriah, I feel like we've been pretty lucky to have I would say just a good group of people who are in there. We're not, I don't know. I've been in other Discords, and I know other people have kind of spoken to this too. Like Fernando's kind of alluded to this a little bit. Like I've seen a lot of just like negativity and trolling and stuff like that in like other Discords, and I feel like we've been able to avoid that so far. Knock on wood, but it's been pretty good so far. So yeah, guys. So I guess with that. Maybe we could just jump into the first topic, temporal forces. Maybe the first question is, what did you guys pick up? Like, what have you opened? Are you holding anything? I guess, and I could start too. I picked up a booster box case through the program, 3-pack blister case. I did pick up some Pokemon Center ETBs. I'm probably going to stop doing that going forward. It seems like the appeal for those has kind of died out, relative to some maybe the earlier Scarlet Violet sets. So I've got a goal to keep collecting one of every 3-pack blister for every set going forward. So I'm going to probably continue to get the 3-pack blisters kind of going forward for each new set, and then. I've said it before in the other lives. I'll probably continue to pick up a case of booster boxes. I'll open one of those, keep 2 sealed for myself, and then 3 of them I'll be able to do kind of whatever I please, right, with them at depending on the market and what's going on. So I actually just sold one of the 3 today locally for $100, right? So obviously not like making any crazy margins or anything on that, but just recouping some of it as you kind of see supply flood the market and things kind of stabilize a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing and what I picked up for Temporal Forces.
Yeah, I did fall into the Pokemon Center ETB, unfortunately, but I had coming back into I guess the new school stuff 151. I bought my first UPC and I got absolutely ghosted on any hits. So my journey now is just to always wait and buy singles. I love buying singles. It's just I love having a mini master set. Obviously have the 151 master set, but I think these cards are definitely looking great. Seeing them now come out, I definitely like to be a little patient. I think the singles are definitely worth it to go after things stabilize a little bit more, and I'll probably buy into this set. I'll probably keep my ETB sealed. I heard the hit rates were pretty terrible on that. I'll probably pick up some boosters from FCC, once things still stabilize more. But yeah, the singles are looking fantastic. And it's just kind of like a weird set. I know we heard a little bit about some manipulation in some of the cards, so we'll see what happens there. Hopefully, no one's stealing anything from the lines, but bad pull rates equals higher numbers on singles. Cards are looking kind of cool and different. It's a good surprise because everybody was kind of talking this one down. So all in all, I think it's good to just kind of wait this one out if you haven't already. If you're in it, great. I saw you pull that Ghastly the other day, which was magic. I think I was on with you we were all on. So you had some magic on the set. My magic is all out ripping stuff. So I'll be buying singles, and I'll definitely let you guys know when I get.
Yeah, this set has been weird already. And I'm glad that it's not just me that's noticed. Like it's everywhere. What I will say though is I feel like it's getting a little bit more hate than what it needs. I feel like the majority of the content that I've seen, I'm wondering if the packs are coming out of ETBs, because I've noticed ETBs are very lackluster. And then I also kind of wonder if this is an unintended or unforeseen consequence of coming off of Paldean Fates, where the hits that came out of there, granted it's a huge set, but I feel like it's a nicer set. Like I hadn't seen that high of a hit rate since Crown Zenith. And I love both sets. And so I was like, maybe people are still kind of coming down from the Paldean Fates, combined with how not so great these ETBs are. What I will say is that on our channel we did the YouTube video is coming as well, but we did a booster box for one of our people in the community, and we got 15 hits out of that box, which is wild. Like normally, like I remember Scarlet and Violet, the very first few sets actually through Obsidian Flames, we were lucky to get 9, maybe 11 hits. So I feel like the ETBs somehow are being manipulated, maybe. Whereas the booster boxes so far have been great. Flower City, we saw yours. You get 13 hits out of there. I was guessing 14, but lucky number 13, I guess. But yeah, I will say that in no shame for Slick doing the smart thing there with the collection, buying the singles and doing it that way. I love the community aspect of what we get to do, and with the content creation, we'll get into that later too. But opening the packs is such a great feeling when we're all together and getting to experience it. I've been recently fortunate enough to buy some master sets. That's how I like to do my collections. I have a lot of catching up to do. I've been out of the hobby for 20 years. So that's how I've been doing. But Temporal Forces, I feel like is I'm holding 2 boxes. We're going to see where it goes. I do feel like the prices are going to be that they will go up on this one. I think I'm actually curious to see how they evolved comes out on at the end of this, because I feel like 151 kind of overshadowed that one because Japanese 151 came out right around that same time, and then I kind of feel like it's kind of the same thing happening here with these the negativity coming out with Temporal Forces. I don't think it's gotten its 15 minutes of fame, so I'm holding on to 2 of them. I will eventually master this one too, but yeah, I think that those prices will go up.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting just in general. There's always, I think, just Scarlet and Violet in general. So far, there's just been a lot of negativity, and I'm a Gen 1, Gen 2 guy, and I say this to everybody I talk to, and I'll die on this hill that I might not like all the designs, but I also grew up with the OG designs, the dogs, right, for this set. I mean, yeah, it was a little like shocking seeing the initial designs. I was like, oh, that's weird, but then you look at the cards and you're like, oh, I understand the appeal. These cards are gorgeous, and it's about the kids, right? It's not about us. They're not making them for the 30-year-olds, right? They're making it for that next generation, and they're trying to get them hooked, and they're trying to build, this for the future too, for them. So I think the kids are going to continue to eat this up, and that's at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, is for them. And that's also part of the reason why I'm in this is because I'd like to continue this and like, you know, eventually want to have family, like be able to like share this with them. I feel like that'd be pretty cool, right? Because I think I mentioned that on the first live. Long Brother Cards, you know, he's got his son and he does live openings with him all the time, and that's such a cool thing that they do together. That would be pretty cool to be able to do with like, you know, your son or daughter. So, but yeah, so just a little bit of an off rant there, but
No, I think that is absolutely a very important point. And it's an aspiration of mine as well. We have a 3-year-old, and you know, these master collections are. I hope that they outlive me, whether it's within the family or beyond. But I definitely want to bring her into the fold. She's already obsessed with a bunch of Pokemon. She loves Psyduck, so I think that it's I think it's an absolute something that we do need to keep in mind is that. You know, even though it is, you know, us 30-year-olds that are out here like doing a lot of the social media posts and the Reddit posts and, you know, all that stuff, it is for the kids. And I think it needs to I feel like that gets overshadowed sometimes. So I'm glad that you brought it up.
Definitely.
yeah, 100%. And you know, there's been and this is because primarily I digest a good amount of YouTube content almost like daily. You know, just random market analysis stuff, almost like podcast type form. And you know, I'll be working and just kind of listening. And the word manipulation came up a lot for this set, right? Temporal Forces, because I think people are used to seeing just singles crash immediately after release. And it is I don't know. It's hard because we all have our own perspectives based on our own openings. And I know my initial opening was absolutely horrible, but I also at least acknowledged I acknowledged that, you know, it's not a big sample size. You know, when we're talking 40, 50, even 100 or 200 booster packs, that's not a lot, and it doesn't represent the full population. So I guess you guys think there's any kind of like manipulation going on with respect to the singles. I think the booster box, for the most part, I don't think anyone's calling manipulation on those. I think they're hovering right around $100, which I feel like is okay. You know, maybe they'll go down as we get into the next set, right? Twilight Masquerade is coming right around the corner, which is hard to believe in 2 months. So maybe once we get into that, people will kind of move on, and then you'll see prices drop a little bit. But as far as the singles go, like, what do you guys have any, like, you know, firm beliefs on, you know, maybe what's going on, or have you kind of looked at the data at all to?
I don't think there's any firm beliefs, but I think exactly what you said. You know, like each set, it's a huge drop after release. So, you know, the Paladin Fates, like how much did that, you know, Charizard drop, or, you know, and it seems like, I think, you know, the top 3 cards went up like 80, 50, and 30% respectively on this set, you know, and even 151 declined a bunch. You know, those Charizards were, you know, 150, 175, went down to finally like 120. So I love that. I love a mix up in the market. I think it's great to you know, keep people on their toes. You know, especially, you know, people that try to, you know, downplay a set and it comes out really awesome. Like, yeah, let's go for the underdog. You know, it's great for the market. It's great for everybody too. You know, what like you said too. You know, we might judge these cards when we see the mock-ups, but, you know, Pokemon adds texture to these cards now for a reason. When we see, you know, the card in real life, you have to give it a chance. You have to see the texture mixed with the color, and things look great. So, you know, I would love for this set to just take charge, take a little bit of the shine away from the craziness with Evolving Skies and 151, and, you know, like let's shake it up a little bit. So I definitely like where it's going, and I'm definitely an investor in this one. But yeah, just all good things. I really have nothing bad to say about it coming out of the box. I really just hope there's no manipulation.
Yeah, same. I hope not either, because it is quite the swing that we saw from, like, it's not the usual. It's backwards compared to competition. And I think that a huge part of that has to do with these hit rates, because I think, like, I think we pulled one of the top 10 or two. And again, and I think someone else brought this up in our Discord too, where it was like one of those top 10 is an A spec, which is actually one of the cards that I pulled several of already. So it's kind of interesting that that's even on there. But the rest of them, yeah, like they're ghosts. You know, I haven't seen them hardly at all. And I wouldn't put it past the American side of things, like the English prints, to do that kind of thing, because I feel like there needed to be. I think Evolving Skies was, and now Fusion Strike were really great examples of that, where it's like we've been seeing these continually go up and up and up, and I feel like there might be, I can see a motive for it as far as manipulation goes, of being like, let's bring some of that back to the newer sets. Let's get off these, you know, I feel like the record's been played enough on these ones. Let's bring it back to the newer ones. So I feel like there's a motive there, and I don't know 100% whether or not it is. I don't see a whole lot of the behind the scenes data. Even if, you know, something was to be published, I don't think that they would make anything like that very public. So whether or not we could trust it is another story entirely. But yeah, it's been an interesting ride so far. I'm wondering how the prices are going to impact each other the other way, actually, with the cost of the singles being so high, whether or not that's going to bring the sealed product up or down. That's what I'm kind of curious.
I like that. Yeah, a lot of things to watch on the set.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing, and I think, you know, we're only through, you know, technically, I guess, 3 or 4 full days of this set being out. I know that people get their stuff early. You know, they break street date. That's fine. Like that's going to happen on every set, and I don't think that's ever going to stop. But now that we're like, what's that?
It's just so unfortunate, though, and I don't know if it's the case that you guys had seen on your end, but I will say on my side of Twitch, I saw it way more prevalent this go round than I had even for 151, where people were breaking a lot sooner. It's a trend I don't like to see, and I discourage, but that might be part of it too, as far as like why Temporal Forces. It's only been out less than a week, and it's already starting to die off. But I hope it doesn't. I hope we can keep it up.
Yeah, I'm not for breaking stuff early.
Yeah, to Kay's point, I mean, maybe we're seeing more of it because we know the market, and I guess streamer and really anyone's ability to make the margins that we saw in Sword and Shield, they're slowly kind of, I don't want to say dwindling away, but it's getting harder and harder to compete. So obviously that's another competitive advantage. If you can get your stuff 2 weeks in advance, you're obviously going to do better, right? Because you're one of the few that have it and are willing to break street date, right? So you're willing to do that. And how do I feel about it? I mean, obviously there's rules. I think everyone is, you know, they're going to do what they're going to do. We're all adults, right? And that's a decision that you make. I personally wouldn't do it because I think the risk outweighs the benefit. And if they decide to come after you, they're going to shut you down, and then you're never going to do it again, right? So,
who polices that?
Yeah.
Who will it come after you? Will it be like the secret Nintendo reps? They're watching out for that. Like, how do they not catch some of the larger streamers doing it? You know, it's kind of crazy sometimes, but I'm sure what comes around.
I've heard stories of people have, you know, basically gotten that notice, like, hey, you know, shut it down.
Damn.
And some people getting it super, super early. You know, there have been stories, you know, I'm not going to name names, but because you guys might even know, but if you're getting it that early, it might even be like considered stolen if it's that early, right? Like out the back door of the factory. It's like, so, you know, it's just, you know, do you really want to paint that picture? I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's just not worth it for me. So I, you know, personally, I avoid that.
With you on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's like, I absolutely hate it. I despise it. I feel like there's a magic when it comes to a new set, not Magic of the Gathering, but there's a magic energy that comes along with it, of experiencing that and getting to experience that together. A couple days here, I don't think that makes too much of a difference. It's these people, like Kay said, weeks beforehand, and they ruin it for everybody. And yeah, and like Flower said, that's a huge risk to them. I think it's like it doesn't make sense. You might get a couple new followers, or get a little bit of hype. It's not going to last. And when you're looking at the consequence of it, the potential consequences of it, you can completely lose out. So, I mean, I think that's an unfortunate reality that we face in content creation. Is there are those who will always be willing to ruin the magic for, like 15 seconds of like, ooh, like I was featured on whatever, for a few seconds. So I wish that, I just wish that people wouldn't do that. I dislike it, and I completely disagree with that.
Yeah, it's a unfortunate reality, and it's probably never going to go away. So,
I'm sure it'll get easier to police, though. People on Whatnot and blah blah blah. They'll probably be able to scan streams and etc., so on and so forth, and partner with Nintendo hopefully. But
and we've seen Pokemon put pressure on the platforms already. So like Shopify, and other places where they completely stop their store until they're able to jump through these legal obligation and compliance hoops.
Oh crap! I never knew that.
Yeah, so basically they're saying like, hey, we don't know for sure whether or not you're selling official Pokemon product. You could be selling counterfeit product or fake or whatever. So Pokemon has already put pressure on those. The rumor is that Wix is next, which is what I use. So I'm trying to like get ahead of that and start getting like legitimate invoices that I could provide. I feel like it's an inevitability, and honestly, I want them to keep doing that, keep putting pressure on it, get the people that shouldn't be in this out. So yeah, I'm happy to do whatever compliance jumps and hoops I got to do. Let's just get the people that shouldn't be in this out of here.
Agreed.
Yeah, and that's one of the good things, and at least for Shopify, I heard that our source, the invoices that I get directly from them counts as, an acceptable, basically just form of verification that you're getting legitimate product. So I know it's been a discussion that's been floating around for a while. It's good to know that we at least have that in our back pocket. So
definitely.
So as far as I guess, is there anything else you want to cover on Temporal Forces? I feel like we touched on it a good amount.
I'm just bummed what they did to. I can't believe they made one of our legendary doggos into a giraffe. Otherwise, no.
I know that was still a little bit of an irk.
My favorite one too. My favorite one too. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But I think had I pulled that card, I probably would have been like, okay, this is pretty awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, we saw it, and I like how they did the art with it, where it, like the neck is primarily in the background. It's not like I think that was just the EX one, but I was so happy that I was like, okay, I'm not looking at just neck, like so. Yeah, I'm Team Entei, which is now, what is it now? Burning or no?
Roaring, or not roaring? That's oh god, gouging fire, I think.
Yeah, gouging fire. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Yeah,
I like that one. I just again, they're silly hats with the terrestrial eyes. I don't know whose fault that was to give them silly hats, but yeah, otherwise.
Yeah, and that's kind of how that's, I feel like, a little bit of how like Chilling Reign was accepted at first, right? Like you did a spin on those legendary birds.
True.
I feel like
Galarian.
At first there was a little bit of that. So I'm wondering if in 2-3 years we look back and we're like, wow, these are actually awesome. And the market perception and psychology is so interesting, and thinking with the masses is such a real thing. And it's like, how do you kind of break from that? And I don't know, think forward and really predict like what 2-3 years down the line is going to look like. That's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, especially the internet, man. It's made hive mind just like that much more crazy.
Yeah.
Never know what's coming.
So let's touch on maybe before we get into like the content creation stuff, because the content creation stuff we could talk about, I think, for a little while. But Japanese 151, we've heard, I think, concretely from a lot of different sources now that we're getting a reprint sometime in May. And as a result, we've seen prices just crash. I mean, pretty much across the board. I mean, it's been pretty volatile. You're going to get very different prices depending on which source you're looking at. But are you guys looking, I guess, personally for me, I'm more of like an English collector, but are you guys in the Japanese side? And if you're not, are you still looking to maybe pick up some 151 Japanese because of the strength of the set? I guess how are you approaching this more or less opportunity? Because if we know the set's going to be reprinted in May and boxes were sitting at $200, it feels like an opportunity.
Yeah. I definitely think it's an opportunity. I mean, I think it would be crazy if it went below 100. Some people, obviously not reliable sources, but sometimes on TikTok, like $117 right now I seen the low as. So maybe those people are just getting all their stuff out, scared what price is going to get to, but very, very comfortable that's not going to go below 100. Even if it did, it's going to go right back up to 160, and that's 160 for 160 to 200 for 20 packs. Compared to the English 36. So still really love it. I unfortunately definitely bought some when it was high, but it just is what it is. When you believe in a set and you also like it, for ripping it open. I mean, I'll definitely buy some, rip it open, especially the Japanese. I love ripping open the Japanese with the Master Ball. Just nice 20 packs, rip it open, look for that Master Ball, get some SRs in there. Great freaking set. English too, if that comes back, I'm going to load on that. I think I bought UTVs from you, and I'll load on those again. But love the 151 Japanese. I'll buy more. I would love for us to potentially get around there, like $100 a box. I think that would be a money spot, but I'm definitely a buyer around 110 to 120 for sure. As well as when the English comes back out, definitely a buyer. I think it'll shoot right back up.
Yeah, I'm right there with Slick. Actually, I am not surprised, and I love that Mystical said that too, where they said they wouldn't, and then they did anyway. So you can definitely expect the same thing from English, because I feel like English has always just been a more greedy market and a less transparent market. So whether or not they even give us the warning, we'll see. But where was it going with that? But I absolutely would not buy now. I would wait till the reprint, buy, hold, wait, because the nostalgia of this. I mean, I went back. One of the very first master sets that I bought was base set because that's the one I fell in love with, and then I feel like that's going to be the exact same experience for people that got back in. I can't even count how many people I saw on Reddit that were like, yeah, I've been out of this hobby for decades, and then 151 came out and I'm like right back into it. So I think it's always going to have that hype regardless of what the market ebb and flows. So I feel like getting it after the reprint, it's going to be probably at one of its cheapest points, holding it for a while, and I mean a while, and then tackling it, selling the boxes sealed down the road. I feel like that's going to be the long-term play for that one.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I guess the way I'm approaching this is, we know where it's been, right? So we know $200. We know that I think, a lot of people waiting for this same opportunity, and it's happening, right? So I think there's going to be a large buyer pool right around that price. So I don't necessarily know if it's really going to stay there long. So I think what I'm maybe going to look for is going to be patient, right? And I think I urge most people to be patient, right? Be patient, really look at multiple sources, really understand, you know, um, is this really the bottom? And if you don't think it's the bottom, maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't hurt waiting a little bit longer, because if you can pick up on some kind of indicator that maybe the boxes are starting to go up again, right? Like Lost Origin had a very nice, dip and increase after it was about a 3-month window, right? Where it kind of hit the high of the 160 to 180 point before the reprint. It got its reprint. And here we are again, 3 to 4 months later, and we were right back to the same price. So with a super high demand set like that, a really strong set, I have this feeling like 151 Japanese is going to follow a similar trajectory, because there's just so many people out there who are going to follow that same approach, right? They're waiting for that opportunity. The smart people are like, all right, we're going to jump on this. We're going to wait till it gets somewhere down there, and then we're going to pull the trigger. And I'm not going to, I kind of talked about this in our Discord a little bit. I'm probably not going to nickel and dime myself, right? Because like you said, Jesteriah, we're holding this for the long term. 10 or 20 bucks per booster box is not going to make or break the investment long term. So, especially if you're talking, 2, 3, 4x, per booster box, it's not really going to matter in the long term, and you're going to kick yourself if you miss an opportunity waiting to nickel and dime and try to get super, super cheap. So, that's probably the approach I'll take, and it's going to be easier for me to hold them longer because I have a master English set of 151. So it's going to be a lot easier for me to actually hold on to it and sit on it and keep it away. So it's definitely on my radar, and probably my top 3 things that I'll be going for. And I'll probably be moving out of some Charizard UPCs that I've got at this point, and moving that into 151 position.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of UPCs for the Charizard, sorry, just quick tangent. I really was interested in the Lunar New Year, or the Dragon Lunar New Year Charizard UPCs that came out. I haven't been able to track the market on that, but I wonder, like, those might be, if you're transitioning out of those English ones, maybe looking to go into the Chinese Lunar New Year ones, if you can get your hands on those. I feel like those are going to be a hot commodity down the road for sure. I mean, anything with Charizard's face, you're going to get it. Um, but yeah, I think that is an excellent point when it comes to like the nickel and dime aspect of it, because like if I could do, like similar with the stocks, with where if it goes below this, I need you to buy it like straight away. I think 120, like if it went down below 120, I would immediately swoop it up. Whether or not it gets lower than that, it's a risk I'm happy to take to, maybe I'll lose like $6 or something, but yeah, I feel like the long run, the payout will be much more, especially because when you look at Lost Origins, right, it was a great example. There's only one real big chase card of that one. But then with the 151, I mean, you've got like all tarts of all the big boys, right? You got like even the little ones, like the starters have their own, and then the entire evolution line. So you got 9 that I feel like really pop off. Of course, Charizard again going to be the big one, but yeah, so I feel like that's a great comparison, and then maybe like add a little bit to it, because that's kind of what I think is going to happen with.
Yeah, and I almost, like, sometimes I think people forget that I almost feel like, and I forgot this too until I ripped a little bit of it, but I pulled all 3 of those Pikachus out of the trainer gallery in Lost Origin, and I man, Lost Origin, I think just if you picked up any Sword and Shield set with a trainer gallery in it, I just I'm I don't know. If we look 5 years from now, I think they're gonna probably, I mean, not maybe not Evolving Skies, but man, I mean, if you took Brilliant Stars and Lost Origin and put it in a vacuum next to Chilling Rain and Fusion Strike, and you had all the supply was the same, and you had a buyer pool, it'd be interesting to see what would happen to the prices, because I just think those sets are so much more fun to open. We were just talking about this, right? How, Fusion Strike and Chilling were just so painful. And then you got to Brilliant and Lost Origin, and it was like the experience matters for people, right? It's a big deal. And some of these trainer gallery sets, Lost Origin, you can pull those Pikas. That's like a little bit of like Vivid Voltage is mixed into that set. I almost like think a Lost Origin now is like almost like a Pikachu set, sort of too. You got that Sleepy Pika that you can pull a couple times in a booster box. It's pretty cool. And what do you got there?
Yeah, like this is literally my all-time favorite.
Oh, there you
go. It's my all-time favorite card. That Pikachu is just an absolute banger. For me personally, for a personal reason, like I can't tell you how many times I walked in like with my wife and my daughter napping, and it's the exact same pose. Like my daughter's like in my wife's face, like perfect. So it's my all-time favorite card. Yeah, trainer galleries are epic in the Sword and Shield. I absolutely love them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think we touched on the 151 Japanese. I think we're all of the opinion, 100 to 120, probably a sweet spot. And I think we're getting there. I've already seen a couple sources that are probably right in that window. So it'll be interesting to see where we go. And we're not even at the reprint, right? We're going to have more supply hit the market in May. It is pretty crazy. So we'll see how that goes. But as far as maybe we can jump in maybe some of the content creation, and from I guess my experience, I guess the majority of my content creation journey or experience so far has been pretty dry. I would characterize it as that, because if you look at YouTube, I'll do some Instagram stuff and reels, and I can get creative sometimes, but I think it's creative from the perspective that I have and the experience that I have. But then I go and I watch other people and they're professional content creators, and I'm like, okay, this is way better than anything I could ever do. Right. So, and then as far as like YouTube goes, my YouTube is super small. I like to focus on like the numbers, right? So it's really dry. It's for people who like numbers and like looking at trends and stuff like that. So from a content creation standpoint, I don't know. I'm pretty low level when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to give like my kind of background and experience. And it doesn't help that I'm an engineer. I didn't get to take like any of those classes in like college. And to be fair, I mean, you can go online and take a course on content creation and learn a lot of these new skills, right? If you really wanted to. And I guess personally, I haven't done it. Not saying maybe I won't in the future if it makes sense, but I haven't taken that opportunity yet for myself.
I'm kind of in the same boat there. Especially since I kind of recently started, but did the base level. That's really what it's about. If it's not your strong suit in life, it's definitely just about getting out there and showing up. At least stand up your Instagram. At least get out there and go live here and there and find your strong suit. I mean, for me, I would love to get to content creation. It'll come soon. It's just fun, but definitely time consuming. I mean, these guys that are doing it full time are definitely, full time cranking away good work for a reason. It doesn't take 2 seconds to spool something around, and make 10, 20K a month off of YouTube views. These guys are pros and they're very good at what they do. So, and we don't have to shoot to the stars all the time. It's definitely about finding that mid-level. Nothing has to be snazzy. You can put up a quick website or a quick Instagram, get going in this industry. And, you don't have to be the best. Sometimes it's just to make friends and connections, etc. So that's exactly what I did. I found like a little bit of a niche on Whatnot, which I had to just do some basic, content creation, going on Canva and putting stuff together, just all willy-nilly. So it's fun and it's a good process. I mean, it's, no one judges your content creation here. It's not like you have to do any crazy social media campaigns if you don't want. So I mean, it's definitely something I want to get into more. Can't wait to build out a website. I definitely glad we saved Jesteriah for last, because I know he does some cool stuff. So looking forward to hear what you got going on there too, man.
Yeah, it's been a journey for sure. It's remains an aspiration of mine. I definitely want to do content creation full time, and what I think is paramount, and it's something that I'm not even the best at. Period. I'm probably one of the worst. Is consistency. Um, I I try to do as often as I can. Juggling everything that I got going on. I feel like I just need to sit down at least once a week and just start cranking out as much content as I can. It doesn't even have to be amazing, and just keep putting it out there. Right now, I'm so focused on the quality over quantity aspect, and I think it's a backwards mindset, especially with how I don't want to say convoluted, but just how much there is in this sphere when it comes to content creation. Like we're competing with some of the biggest names in all of YouTube whenever I put a video out there. And I don't mean like, oh, I'm competing with that. I mean like I'm trying to get up to that level. Yeah, if I could one day say that I'm actually like competition for some of my biggest role models, that would be like a dream come true. But yeah, I love the content creation side of it. I think it provides not just a way that people can digest and have fun with the hobby for free, but it also the bigger aspect and aspiration for me is to create that safe place and a place where someone can go. It doesn't matter. Like I want the content to transcend like everything, like sexual orientation, like gender, color, race, religion, doesn't matter. I want it to be something that anybody could watch, anyone could tune into and enjoy, and know that they got a safe place. If you look at the description of any of my YouTube videos, there's a reason I always wear this shirt when I do YouTube. Um, it's just there's more to it than just the content itself. So yeah, it's an aspiration I want to keep working towards. I want to, you know, um, eventually make that dream come true. Nor, huge shout out to Nor. He's our editor. He helps with like everything when it comes to content creation. So he's absolutely amazing. When you guys see the trailer or the graphics that are online or the logo, like the banners, he just did that today. It takes a team, and that's something I've realized for sure. When you're trying to get to these higher levels, because I would rather put the money in his pocket than put it into Google Ads pockets. It was costing like $50 a day, and it just wasn't worth it. Versus like actually one of my good friends, Nor, just so happens to have such an amazing skill set to help me make this dream come true. So yeah, it's been a wild ride. There's been mostly positives. There's some negatives on the downside of it too. And it absolutely is. Kay said, she's like I said, she's my better half. She knows that there's a lot of work that goes into it. I know a lot of people think like I'll just post a video and then it'll be like that. But no, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. So yeah, it's fantastic. Just want to keep cranking this out and creating a good time for people. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, and objectively, I think you got the personality for it. I have been able to kind of look through a lot of people on the Discord, right? They do a lot of different things, and your content, I can tell it's a different level. You guys definitely put in a different level to it, and even like the intro, gave me laughs, and it's fun and it's cool, and yeah, so. And to your point, competing right with other major YouTubers, you really are. You're competing for people's time, right, and attention, and their time and attention could go anywhere. It doesn't have to be just Pokemon, right? So that's a very, very, very real thing, and I definitely understand that. So the grind that you're going through is probably very real, and it's not something I've taken on for myself. And I don't know if I'll ever aspire or get to that point. But as far as like the quality over quantity, you spoke to, and maybe trying to get to more of like just kind of hammer out content. Do you think there might come a point where, because you are focused on the quality right now, that once you get that process down and the quality is there and you just get better and better and better at it, that you'll be able to just pump out more, I mean, just as good a quality content, but just at a faster rate? Like, at what point do you think you start to see the lessons learned and like be able to just kind of learn as you just as you do more and more, right? I guess, do you think you'll get to a point where you'll be able to kind of speed things up, and what do you think is holding you back on that front? Just as someone who's in it, right?
Yeah, I think that for me, it's it's personal stuff. It's not like there's nothing that would really stop me from sitting down one day and being like, hey, I'm gonna crank this out. Like I'm just gonna make a whole bunch of content. And then I think we did that once, me and Kay both, and it took both of us because we've got our little toddler running around, but also these bills aren't going anywhere, right? So I know it's worth the investment, and I know that I can be successful at it if I keep working at it. But whether or not we actually have that full blown opportunity of getting there, I just have to learn how to juggle these things around. And as time's going, I am learning more, more tricks. And our daughter's getting bigger, so she's a little bit more independent on some things that she didn't used to be as well. But yeah, it's this desire and this ability to hopefully be able to focus and apply these like small time saving tricks, and kind of getting past myself and my own, I don't know if it would be deemed shame or pride, but I don't want my name attached to something that's just like I actually want it to be something meaningful. But I got to get over that, because I feel like I said, quantity at first, we need to just crank out as much as we can, and then once we get that foundation going, then we'll be able to keep that quality mixed in. Luckily, when it comes to like Nor's stuff, I don't really have a choice. Anything the guy touches is gold. So it's like I'm lucky. I give him, yeah, like seriously, I give him like this. Hey, here's a couple hours of footage. There were a couple parts in here that were kind of funny, and then I watched the video later. Like in the latest video, we have this meme in our community that we don't like Mr. Mime very much, and he just went to town with it. Man, I was so blown away. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, I'm just going to keep applying these like small little time saving tricks, do a little bit better with, focus on the content. I think right now, primarily I'm focused on the store aspect of it. But the content creation remains the biggest aspiration for it. So yeah, it's awesome. Dad games. Love it, man.
Awesome. Yeah. And are you doing primarily, like, are you trying to do like a video a day, or can that be kind of subsidized with like a reel here and there? If you have like a video you already did, and you're like, okay, this was a really cool moment, can I do like a reel instead? Like, are you doing that, or I guess what like frequency now are you posting?
So every single one of our YouTube videos is attached to a giveaway. So why I would love to do that as a daily thing. Right now, I can only afford to do it once a week. But the clips and the reels and all that stuff, that's only been something that we've been focused on for the the short, what's the word I'm looking for? The short content, I guess.
Yeah,
like
like
short reels,
yeah,
TikTok, stuff like that.
yeah.
Thank you, Nor. I love you, man. But it's we've only just this year started to kind of pivot to more than just the YouTube videos weekly. It's going to be more for that short content. So yeah, luckily we've gotten a lot more clipped and saved this year, just from streams, but also like I'm going to be more active in the card playing scene. Like my local card shop, I actually fell in love. I mean, I loved our other guys back in California, Imperial Games. Big shout out to them too, because man, like as far as the giveaways and stuff go, it would be a whole other thing for us. That would not be possible, but they helped us out a lot with that. Our local card shop over here, they actually have a location where they do consistent game nights and stuff like that, trade nights and stuff. So I want to pivot more into that area as well, and kind of get some more of the more free content, because right now, like, I've just been paying out of pocket for all giveaways and yeah, all the stuff that goes into that, the editing and everything like that. But yeah, it's not going to discourage me. I'm just going to keep going at it. I'll pivot as many times as I need to. It's going to be great, and I'm just happy to be able to go on this ride to make it come true.
I like that giveaway with your YouTube videos. I like that little hack. What do you do?
Yeah,
Do you randomize it from viewers? Like everybody on that Friday video gets a chance to enter, or how do you do the giveaway?
no, it's like so in order to be entered for the giveaways for YouTube, all they need to do is just make sure that they're subscribed, leave a comment, and I usually have like a prompt, but you don't even need to follow the prompt, and then throw a like on the video because that'll help the algorithm out. So it's kind of like an investment, but also sharing the absolute amazing hobby that Pokemon is too. So yeah, that's how I primarily do it, and then we announce the winner live on Twitch whenever we roll out our new video. So
Nice. Yeah, I've seen some of your stuff. I think you did like a partnership with a grading company, right? Was that what it was? Yeah. So you definitely make some great stuff. I mean, definitely better than me. And I know you shout out Nor, and to anyone that's thinking about it too. If you're ever, hitting your head against the wall on design, definitely outsource if you get stuck. It is just sometimes people's, secondhand nature to do some of this stuff. So it'll just benefit you. Don't stress out on things you can't do. There's always somebody out there that can hold your hand and help, and just it's always good to reach out. I was always Mr. Try to do everything as well. And I finally met some designers. I was like, all right, this is just so much better. I'm less stressed. The product looks better. I'm not doing a hack job here. So, definitely respect out there to the designers. You guys always do a great job. AI is never going to replace you.
yeah, and I would be absolutely remiss to not obviously mention Kay as well, because she's my partner in life and my partner in everything. Through the ups and downs, she's been there for me. So yeah, so super grateful for her and really everyone else in our community, but obviously especially the love of my life. So yeah, love you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely very, very important to have a good support system, and I'm sure she pushes you, and that's all good stuff. It's important to have. And I guess one of the questions I had specifically for like the giveaways, do you find that there's like a correlation to like maybe the size of the giveaway and then how people respond, or is it just like, hey, we're giving this away, interact? Like, have you seen anything like that?
Definitely.
On the YouTube side of house, I haven't. On the Twitch side of the house, I definitely have.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Slick.
I was just gonna say from Whatnot, I definitely think I've seen, quality. There's definitely a happy medium. Since I'm starting out, I definitely bent a little bit more than I should, but I did, Korean EV Heroes, which I've ripped only, and people have had tons of hits. We've had the Sleepy Dragonite, we've had tons of fantastic hits, so it keeps people coming. Sometimes I'll switch it over to like a buyer's givey, and just some of my buyers will get it at the end. And then sometimes I'll do like I think after a full mystery bag show, I did a 151 ETB. Something I necessarily didn't want to sell. I wanted to hold, but I'm new. People would love this giveaway. I definitely have heard of some people just giving like bottom of the barrel stuff for giveaways and just hoarding followers. But you definitely want people that like your stuff. You don't want to just that's just a first time giveaway person. Yeah, they might be just there for giveaways, but at least make it good. You never know. Some person might buy from you one day, and just don't try to take shortcuts sometimes. Let everybody know also if you're giving a cheaper giveaway.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point too. Especially with like that. I think so long as the intent is there, the intent behind the giveaway, right, and the intent of winning it, because on YouTube, like what I've noticed actually is even if the giveaway isn't spectacular, we still get consistent numbers, but we get higher numbers regardless of the giveaway based on the video itself, which makes sense. YouTube is a platform for content. So yeah, on that side, it does make sense. I think Pokemon is a very unique community in that the community kind of, I don't want to say like they feel like, I think content creators feel like um, we have to do giveaways in order to even maintain a little bit of an audience, which I'm totally good with. I think there's a small population of the community that is there specifically only for their own gain. Um, that for me has been the biggest challenge in this. Is, like I said, I'm more about the community aspect of this versus the, the business side of everything. So I'm trying to safeguard my community and make sure that the giveaway is going to where they should. And, like versus like someone that I know is only there for a second and is gone right after they made a giveaway, that has been the biggest hurdle for me actually, is like finding that fine balance. Cause yeah, if they're going to be part, and I say this every single giveaway, if you're going to like stick around, hang around, like it's fun, like you don't have to be here, even though you may have come in specifically for this one giveaway that we're doing. That doesn't have to be the only reason that you come here,
Hang out for a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. Like and if I can't do that, then, I might be messing something up. But I hope to change a few minds and kind of, get this mindset out of the community. I've seen some really discouraging and kind of disgusting posts on Reddit of people that literally are bragging about winning thousands and thousands of dollars with zero, like they have zero intent, that intent behind the giveaway of like building the community and keeping good people around, versus people who come in, snipe, and just essentially steal from the community. So, I'm hoping to change as many minds as I can to get that to go the other way. But, whether or not, sometimes someone's going to get a giveaway that, I have no control over. I try to be fair, but also, as they're called, givey goblins, like try to keep them at bay as well. So
yeah, you use that on the stream, and all the streams I do on Instagram. I just I throw them up there just because I think it's fun. Like interacting with you guys while I'm opening it. But somebody I think jumped on. That was the first time ever, because I don't give away stuff on my like Instagram, and I don't do like videos right now on YouTube. So I just don't do that kind of content right now. And that was the first time I had anybody ask like, "Hey, you giving this away?" I was like, "No, this is just like a personal rev, just having fun." And then you were like, "Oh, get out of here, Gibby Goblin," or something like that.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Like when that's their first thing, and on our side of Twitch, it's like bingo, marbles. I'm like, let me pull up your chat log. Oh, that's the very first thing that you're saying. Then I gotta kind of keep an eye on them. But yeah, like it's very unique in this community that I feel like people are kind of entitled when they don't really realize like how much goes into these giveaways. Like I'm literally spending hundreds of dollars a month on things that have almost no benefit to me.
Right.
But the fact that I am honored to be able to be like in front of the camera and vibing with a lot of people and just like having a great time. That's a benefit for me. But it does get expensive for sure.
If you could put like a dollar cost to how many dollars you would like giveaways to yield you followers per show, what would you like that to be? What would you like that ratio to be? If you were to give, I guess, like a $50 ETB at the end of a show, how many followers would you like that to give you?
On the Twitch side or on the YouTube side?
Whichever one is better for that type of situation, I guess.
I would say like, I guess I could give examples of both. So we're not monetized on YouTube yet. There's some things that you have to do. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and then like a bunch of views, whether it's for shorts or otherwise. So I feel like if I could get, like this is going to kind of sound cheesy, but like if I could get somebody who actually would vibe with the community, I'm happy to spend like $100 to get one person, because it's not just for that video that I'm getting a like, that I'm getting a subscription.
Good point.
Getting somebody else in our community, and that's worth it 100% for me. But like when we get to the Twitch side of the house, I mean, I spend literally like I just spent $70 on this, and then when they go ham, like when people are just crazy and it's just we're all getting carried away, like I'll be like, what else do I have to give away, being partnered with a grading company, we get a lot of slabs that we do giveaways for. I think we're at like 35 slabs
nice,
just in the last 3 days, and that's just
awesome.
been Yeah, that's just because people are popping off. So for me, it's just like if I can sustain and reward that kind of mindset and that kind of people, to build that community that I'm looking to build, um, I'll pay, like whatever
Definitely.
it is. But yeah, like I said, safeguarding the community and like, making sure that, someone, I mean, again, here and there, someone's going to get it. And I'm just like, hey, nice knowing you. But for the most part, we've been pretty fortunate. So,
Can you do buyers giveies on Twitch and YouTube?
yeah. So we have exclusive stuff like this month, because I've been trying to like come up with other ideas to reward people that are, supporting the financial side of the house, which is the shop and stuff. We're doing an entire master set of the McDonald's promos from
Nice.
2021. So every $5 that they spent for March, that goes into a raffle that we're rolling out here soon, actually. And we like to do stuff like that. We
Like that.
did a very yeah, we did a very high end slab, uh, which was I think the shiny magic card, and we did that as like the top person, whoever spent the most for that month. So we come up with like different ways to reward people, but we can't do that without their support. So just keep it going back and forth, give and get, But yeah, it's fun. I absolutely love it. This is for sure a passion of mine.
Absolutely, you got a lot of cool things. I like that. Highest spender of the month and stuff. I'm gonna take some of those tricks out of your bag.
Absolutely, dude. Like seriously, I'm not like in. I think we've got a bunch of people in chat right now who could attest to this. Like, I'm never going to be somebody who's like, no, like, oh no, dude. Like, if you can vibe and you want to build a community, dude, I got you. Like, we're gonna do. I'll give you all the ideas that we can possibly come up with together. I've done like people have done subathons and they're like, hey, I hear you're the guy to talk to, and I'm like, yeah, let's vibe, let's have a phone call. So I'm more than happy to help out, man.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, at some point, I think it'd be cool to jump in. I was talking to, I don't know if I don't know if you were there at that point, Jesteriah, but I was talking to Slick. I feel like at this point, just with the wholesale program and everything being a focus, getting into like streaming and stuff like that, I think right now would be tough. Going into like the summer months, that's when it just gets a little bit busy, at least for me, with weddings and just events and stuff going on. But maybe like towards the fall, may consider doing something like what you guys are have going on right now. And then I'm sure once I jump into that, I'll probably have plenty of questions for you guys. So
We're here,
yeah,
man.
cool, good stuff. But
I
yeah,
like
anything.
what Porter did there. I like that. The amount of people who come in first, and then the thing they do is ask for a giveaway. It does get to me sometimes. I usually just try to have fun with it and move on. Yeah, and I think that's the best. That's the best mentality for it. It's I think something that we just have to expect at this point. Um, but yeah, just keep it fun. Like who cares? Somebody's gonna walk away, and yeah, they're gonna get something. But what I usually do in that case is like I immediately turn around and be like, hey, second place and third place, I know you guys are consistent. I know you guys show up for us. You're getting rewarded too.
Exactly.
So just because like they win doesn't mean that they're the only ones that have to win. Like put the rewards where you feel like they should go too.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
Yeah,
that.
you want to support the people who are supporting you, right? At the end of the day, and you gotta dedicate the time, or if that's money, it's money, right? And I think that's how you build that that kind of community, right? Whether it's on a Discord or on YouTube or whatnot, it's just about investing your time and yourself into what you want to grow, and obviously if you believe in it, it'll be easier to justify it, right?
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, so we're a little over the 1 hour mark. I don't know. I guess I personally didn't have anything else, any other topics that I had to discuss. I don't know if you guys had anything you wanted to talk about here tonight.
What do you guys think is going to do better, Temporal Forces or Twilight Masquerade?
Twilight Masquerade, 1000%. I was actually just about to say that, dude. Crimson Haze is popping off, man.
I like Crimson.
Dude, it's so good. And again, it kind of sucks for Temporal Forces. They're being overshadowed here. But I think the Twilight Masquerade, I think people would be stoked for it. We're having such a blast with Crimson Haze. So
nice.
Again, not possible without Flower City, man. You're amazing. What do you think, Slick? What do you?
I think the Crimson Haze has been a wave. It's definitely on Whatnot. I've seen a really good feedback on that one. So I think Twilight's going to be really nice. I think these 1-2, I think it's been fun. It's like a mix up. You know, we thought Temporal was going to be kind of shaky. It's been fun. Singles been rising, and then also this 1-2 kicker could be cool. So good stuff to look forward to. I think I think I might buy into this Twilight Masquerade and get ready for this next launch. So.
Absolutely, man. I think that's the way to go for that one. And we only have a couple days left to get in there for the pre-order. So
it's true.
Yeah, that they always change that up. It's funny how they do that. They'll ask for pre-orders. I know pre-orders I think are due on it's either the 29th or the 31st. But then, like for Temporal Forces, they had it open almost up to like release day. And it's based on how much they order and then how much people have already placed orders for. So the window was pretty large for the last one, but technically it's like the 31st. But, I wouldn't bank on the pre-order window continuing to grow like Temporal Forces, but I think there's a decent chance that could happen. But that being said, Twilight Masquerade, we haven't gotten all the cards revealed yet too, right? So, and people are already kind of hyped about it with, half of the set. I don't know how many Japanese sets are going to be in it. Is it 2 or is it 4? 2. Okay. I mean, like every other set, I already have my booster box case in for pre-order. So, I'm going to be dabbling in it. I'm not going to miss it. And I do think, like, given enough time, whether it's Twilight Masquerade or Temporal Forces, I think we're going to look back and they're both going to be super appreciated sets, in their own ways. But I think whether or not one is better than the other yet, I know that Crimson Haze is popping off, and it's one of the better Scarlet Violet sets, like main sets that we've had come through yet. But until we see the rest of it, if we see the other half and it's just as good, if not better, I think there's probably a case that could be made that Twilight Masquerade is going to eclipse, Temporal Forces going forward. So it's going to be fun to see.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, good set then.
Yeah, just look at the art, man. Like, if you can, let me see. I got to put my face like maybe closer. Or something.
Is that Growlithe an AR or is that an SAR?
Yeah, this Growlithe is AR, I believe. Yeah, AR.
They did a great job.
Like, it's amazing. The Eevee, like, dude, these cards, like, the art is just special. Like, it's been awesome. You got Ghastly, Temporal Forces, and I think that, if they were to, like, hold anything, to me, that's the best card of the set. I love that card so much. But yeah, I do hope that the other half of this is going to be just as hype. Again, that's why I think we should hold at least a couple boxes of Temporal Forces. It's not really getting its due, 15 minutes. So hold on to them. At least keep a couple sealed. People will come back and realize that, hey, wait, there's some actually good art in this one too. But for now, sometimes the lineup, like a batter lineup, you're like, oh yeah, who cares about this batter? Like, here comes this one. But it's gonna be really cool. I just hope that the other half is just as good.
Yeah, it's gonna be I think a fun year for Pokemon in general. So we'll see where we go from here. It's been good so far. I think Scarlet Violet's been good just in general. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're at the 1:15 mark. I I don't want to be a party pooper, but I am still sick and I'm coming off something. So
oh, Dad. Oh, no,
yeah, no. So if there's nothing else like that you guys are dying to speak to, may call it at this point.
I think maybe something to discuss next time would be these apps. I think Pocket is going to pop off. Like I was watching, Pokey and he had some great points, and I think that's what reminded me was Casey's question right there. So I think we should maybe discuss that, and then how somebody like me who wants to get more about the TCG, how we can, get noobs like me spun up. But dude, thank you so much, Flower City. Thank you for having me, man. Total blast. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's been super fun, and Jesteriah, it's been awesome meeting you too as well. But let's do this again sometime. Hell yeah, it's been awesome. Great watching the previous ones, and looking forward to the next stuff we put out too.
Yeah, guys, it was great having you on. You guys were great guests. And I'm going to say this just like I said with Fernando and Get Stacks. If you guys ever wanted to host this on your channel too, like your YouTube, whatever, this is a very informal thing. I mean, we do it bi-weekly, but just want to, I guess, make this available to you guys if you guys want to do that. I mean, it doesn't have to be just on my YouTube channel. So do want to kind of throw that out there too. And I agree, we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to do this again. So this was fun tonight. Cool.
Sounds good,
all right,
guys.
Thanks everybody for joining tonight. Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Chat. You guys kept it live.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Everybody have a good night.